if I'm being honest, I wanted a different business partner. I wanted somebody who liked to hang out. I wanted somebody who was fun and funny. Not that Alan isn't, but I wanted somebody like me. The unfortunate truth is I needed somebody who is quite literally the opposite of me, and somebody that I needed, not wanted necessarily.
Kevin and I do not believe that the reason you are not more successful, aka at the next level, is not because you don't already believe enough in what you already believe. We believe there might be a blind spot or a self-awareness thing, or you don't understand something. And I think that takes humility.
Next Level Nation today for episode number 2049. If you only chase what you want, you may never get what you need. We were on a podcast right before this. What can I do for you? Oh,
I just, when Kevin was saying what he was saying in the open, if you're on YouTube, look at my face.
That's super bad.
Oh, I'm not the business partner you wanted. I'm obviously joking, but of course not.
Of course not.
Fun is not the fucking goal, man.
Well, not for you, not for the kid.
Growth
I like
is the goal.
I like a little fun. You know what I mean?
We have fun, but that's
yeah,
not the
but
goal.
I like more of it. I like some more of it.
That's like saying, "Hey, I need you to listen to my to laugh at my jokes." No. Laughter is a byproduct of a funny joke.
Well, you do need them to laugh at your jokes if you're going to be a successful comedian, though.
Yeah, but it's a byproduct. You can't force someone to laugh. You can't force fun. I think fun is a byproduct of a great journey. It's a whole nother episode.
That is a whole nother episode. Why are we talking about this today? Alan and I were on a podcast. Shout out to Don. Don, I don't know how old Don was. Don's younger than us, I believe. Great episode, Alan and I and Don. And just great questions. Kev, you can answer this one. Alan, answer this one. One of the questions he asked was, how did you guys get to the place where you knew working with each other was worth it and like it was actually going to work? What was the actual question? Do you remember? Something like that, right?
It was very much that, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Strong work.
Was it?
By the way, Don, if you are listening, what's up, man?
Nice. Nice. That was nice.
He listened to today's episode. I think that was probably to prep for the interview, but
most likely.
He might still be listening.
Well, shout out to Don. Don's good people. I said, Alan is not the business partner I wanted, but I think Alan is the business partner I needed. And I think that is kind of a universal thing. Most of what you want might not be what you need. Alan has the quote, if what you needed was what you wanted, you'd already have it. I think that's dumb as shit. I think it should be, if what you wanted was what you needed, you would already have it.
Yeah, that's good.
Is it better?
Probably. There's macroscopic thinker and microscopic thinker. Some people are divergent thinkers and some are convergent. It all depends.
You just saying big words? I can say Constantinople. I can say big words too.
No, but seriously, I tend to reverse engineer everything, so I say things backwards. So a lot of people work like second, minute, hour, day, week, month, quarter, year, decade. My brain goes decade and reverse engineers it.
Interesting.
So that's why a lot of times the things I say make no sense to most people.
I've been on the receiving end of that for 8 years.
Some of the stuff I told you though back then making a lot of sense now, huh?
Well, they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That is factual information. That's not bumper sticker shit. That's real.
The teacher was already there.
No, well, the teacher was terrible at teaching. That was the problem. And the student was terrible at learning. It was both. Yeah. It was both
ways.
What from some of your experiences with clients, what are the most common times where you see somebody pursuing what they want at the expense of what they need?
Yeah, well, the first thing, and I like the metaphor of the kiosk at the mall. We've done this before. You walk into the mall, you got a little kiosk there, and you think you want to go to Microsoft. You actually want to go to Apple. It says you are here with a big red arrow. You're actually not there. And the escalator's broken, so you got to take the stairs. And every time, there's 4 types of people I coach. I'll go quick with it. There's someone who comes to me. They know exactly what they want. They know exactly what they need. They know exactly how to get there. And they just want me to help them do it faster. That's the rarest type. The other 3 types are, I know who I am, but I don't know what I want or how to get there. The other one is, I know what I want and how to get there, but I don't know who I am. I have low self-awareness. I have blind spots. The other one is, I know who I am and I know where I want to go, but I don't know how. That's very common. Most people don't know the how. A lot of people that are clients of mine, they can see the now and they can see the future, but they can't see the in between. And so what I try to do, to answer your original question, Clarity. I'm constantly injecting clarity and belief. Constantly. And first you have to figure out what someone's not clear about. So we're going to do an episode after this on goal setting. A lot of people have the wrong goal because it's based on what they think they want, but not necessarily what they really want.
Why do they think they want it?
Because it looks awesome. Almost always because it looks awesome. Like, for example, this is just a simple one, but it does look awesome to be ripped and have a six-pack. But you don't want that unless you really want to be starving.
Yeah, it's
to constantly be hungry, basically. And it's the plot thickens too, because not only are you going to be constantly hungry, but you're also going to be scarce. Emilia, I'll tell you the real reason why I am not dieting well. Emilia doesn't like when I'm scarce.
You get
when
scarce
I'm dieting,
that fast?
I get scarce. I get scarce pretty quick. Dude, one of the reasons why I can perform optimally, for lack of better phrasing, as this version of me is because I get to nourish myself often. Dude, when I'm malnourished and in a deficit for too long, I'm less optimal. There's an optimal stopping problem. If you eat too much, you're going to be full all the time and tired and lethargic. But if you eat too little for too long, I get scarce, I get more intense. See, for you, dieting might make you more intense, but that's good because you're not as intense. I'm already 10 out of 10 intense. When I'm dieting, dude, it's like, it's too much. It's too much. But
I don't know if it makes me more intense. I don't know.
What are you affected?
I'm hungry.
And does that make you more focused or less?
I would say
more. Kevin's got some high self-awareness here.
More often than not, I would say more. But it can become a detriment. The thing is, I don't do physical labor. I used to do physical labor and diet. That was terrible. I couldn't even walk up the stairs. I was so tired. Now I'm in an office all day, so it's really it's not nearly as bad.
Yeah.
Is what I would say.
Do you do better? Do you perform better in a surplus or a deficit? For me, it's a surplus for sure.
I don't really like being in a surplus. I don't like eating more than I need.
Really?
I do.
Huge
from a
fan.
From a. It feels good, but I don't.
I feel so much more abundant. I feel so much more full. I feel bigger, but you're also shorter, right? I'm tall and lanky, so of course I want to feel bigger.
Yeah. Well, and that's a whole nother, we're not going to do an episode on bodybuilding, but that's kind of, you could use that in a bodybuilding context too. If
100%.
You always want to be skinny mini, then you're not building muscle, and that's a whole thing.
How does our listener, the question that we're contemplating right now is, how do the listeners, how do the collective we figure out what we need? That's a good question to ask. Like what do we need to get to the next level? I'm asking hypothetically.
I saw something the other day, and it was essentially whatever you needed 2 years ago is most likely still what you need. It's just a different version of it. So probably that. What did you need 2 years ago? It's probably the same thing. Probably the same exact thing, just elevated a little bit. I need to be more organized. I'm the most organized I've ever been, for sure.
For me, it's more courageous, for sure.
I think it's always going to be.
I feel like such a coward a lot of the time.
Same.
Socially. It's like some of the things I post, I still have a little bit of that. No one cares. And that's true. They probably don't, but I still should post.
Some people don't.
Yeah, and I still do. I force myself to post it anyway, but it's like, Alan, you care. You care about fitness and these exercises and all that kind of stuff.
I've been liking
it. I know I have past friends rolling their eyes of, here's another,
I've been liking
Alan bench pressing again.
Been liking your shit,
I appreciate it.
See it come through.
I have a video right now, though, with 175 likes and not 175 views on Facebook, not a single like.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, me neither. Again,
unfortunately.
It's just unfortunate. What is it up to now? 1 second.
I have
186. I got 2 likes. Nice.
I think on one of them. I have a take.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm not one of them?
Hammer on over there for me. I'm kidding. The truth is like, it's not going to stop me from doing it, and it doesn't detrimentally, like I'm not in bed crying about it, but there's a little part of me that's kind of sad.
Well, going to this episode.
I thought I was trying to inspire and motivate people.
You are, but if you only posted it to get likes, you may never understand that it's not about that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Right?
I didn't just post it to get likes. Right, there's just a small part of me that
No, I know.
It's
I'm
like,
not
what's
saying
the point?
I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying it just as an example to make it appropriate for today's episode.
So what do you need more of?
Millions,
For me, it's courage.
millions of dollars and cars. Courage is one for sure. I need to accept the fact that being disliked is not the end of the world. That's probably mine right now. There's oh my God. There's this dude.
Who dislikes you?
I got a story for you. There's a dude at my gym, and he just says toxic shit and just is an annoyance, and I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan of this person. And I told Taryn, like, at one point he's talking about how he sells Viagra's to people. He's like, $100 of Viagra. It's like, dude, what? I'm trying to get my workout in, man. Like, what are we doing here? I don't care about what you're talking about. So I told Taryn, I said, I'm intentionally going to start being a dick to this guy. I said, it's extremely uncomfortable. I don't like it. I want to be nice to everyone. And at one point, he came up and interrupted me, and he's like, am I that much of a dick? And I said, you are more of a dick than you think you are.
Good for you.
And it was a really good exchange because nobody gives him that. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't like he was coming at me, and I could crush him very, very simply. Very simply, I could crush him. So that helps.
Hello, NLU listener. Thank you, as always, for listening to Next Level University. Real quick, I just want to jump in and let you know about the Next Level Dreamliner. This is a journal that I use every single day. Achieve your dreams 90 days at a time. It breaks down your dreams into goals, milestones, and daily habits. We hope you enjoy it. The link will be in the show notes.
And I will not energetically intertwine with him. I won't look at him. We're not making eye contact. I will not talk to him.
Nice. Good for you.
Unfortunately, I was leaving the gym yesterday, and I had my AirPods out. And I just heard someone, I know a lot of people at the gym. I heard someone, they said, you headed to work? So I just turned around really quickly, and it was him getting out of his car. And I said, I own my own business. I'm always at work. And he said, I know the feeling. I hope you have a great day anyway, my friend.
Feeling. I'm selling Viagra out of my van. Yeah, you really
a bit of an
exactly
entrepreneur myself.
Yeah.
A bit of an entrepreneur myself. Well, I think he does own his own business. Who knows? He says that.
Kidding.
But it was different. It was a little bit of different. He was
toxic or entitled?
In general or in that conversation?
In general.
Yes. Both.
Then we're good with it. We can.
But not in that conversation, though.
Ah.
In that conversation, it was very much like he knows I'm not willing to put up with this shit anymore.
Nice.
If I only chased what I wanted and me wanting to be liked, I would have to fit into a certain box to be around that person. I would have to pretend to be somebody I'm not. I would never, 100%, I would never get the courage. I would never get the understanding. I would never get the certainty in staying centered in who I am. I think that's a really good example. What you want is probably on the other side of the uncomfortable thing that you need, that you keep pushing away. We pursue what we want. I think we oftentimes run away from what we need, which means we're also running away from what we want. We just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Another need that came up for me, I need to learn how to. Emilia's always asking me for feedback and things she can improve. And I keep, my brain has a lot of things. I'm doing something lately called a frustration audit. I've been doing it with my clients. Anyone can do this, by the way. I highly recommend it. You just write down everything that pisses you off about yourself, others, your life, your house, everything that I'm talking. I don't like my fucking toothbrush, like everything down to the minute. And then you just look at the list and you say, I could just buy a new toothbrush. Awesome. Let's do it. And then you create a to-do list based on the frustration audit. I think it's a really cool thing, genuinely, because every one of us, no matter how much you love yourself or how much you love your partner, there are certain things where it's, we could fucking change that.
Of course.
And your life gets so much better. I'll give you an example. I got my razor. The one with the little buzzer, the new buzzer I've been talking about. Dude, I love it. It takes me, I used to shaving cream with the whole thing. Now it takes me not 3 minutes. Done. Once a day. Probably a minute and a half. Love this thing. Little tiny tweaks can make a huge difference. So what was my point of that? Oh, what you need is on the other side of whatever's frustrating the hell out of you, probably.
Or an insecurity. That. I think negative, I don't want to say negative feelings because that's like a blanket statement. Discomfort, maybe at the ego level or insecurity level, that's probably a suggestion of a need that you don't have yet, that you're not willing to work through you've never been willing to work through the discomfort yet. I think that's a big piece of it too. Like when you and I used to do interviews together, I wanted to feel like I was the leader. I wanted to feel like I was the host. I needed significance. I needed certainty. Doing that enough and being in situations where I just wasn't allowed me to let go of what I wanted and then just lean into what I needed of, okay, right now I need a little bit of discomfort. I need to sit in it and I need to realize it's not the end of the world. And that has done me, I will say this, chasing what I have needed has delivered me way, way, way more beneficial things than ever chasing what I wanted.
Yeah, same.
And it's not even freaking close.
Same.
Most of the stuff I wanted created situations I didn't want and I didn't really need. So much of the dumb shit that has happened in my life was based on stuff that I was chasing what I wanted, not what I needed. It created things that I didn't need and I didn't want. And I think that's, what if what you wanted was on the other side of you facing the things that you needed but have never been willing to look at? That would be my next level lesson for this episode. I know this is kind of, it can seem like pie in the sky, but think about it. If you wrote down a list of what you wanted and then a list of what you needed, how many of those would actually cross over? That's first question. Second one is, how many of what you wanted is buried within what you need or who you need to become or what you need to level up, what you need to let go of, all that. Like, I feel like it sounds super simple, but obviously it's more complicated.
I really do believe this to be true, and I do think that to some extent we need both, but I wanted tons of mentors and coaches. I've had mentors and coaches more than I needed, for sure. You didn't have enough, in my opinion.
That's fair.
You didn't want mentors and coaches. You did want a therapist. And I think you needed mentors and coaches about success way more than you needed a therapist. I needed a therapist and I didn't want one.
I don't know about that.
It depends what time we're talking about, right? What time frame. But now, for sure. I think we all need both. I recommend both for everybody, but I wanted mentors and coaches. I needed a therapist. And I think you wanted a therapist and needed mentors and coaches. And do you need accountability but not want it? I have one client, last piece, I know we got to go. We're doing a commitment device. Essentially, he paid for 12 sessions, and I said, I'm going to dock one of your sessions if you don't run a mile a day. He's running a mile a day. Shout out to Brandon. This is not Brandon, by the way. Brandon was the inspiration for this. I showed this client that Brandon is he's coming up on 1,000 days of a mile a day. Shout out to Brandon, my man Brandon. I know we're doing an episode about him soon, potentially. So, anyways, Brandon, mile a day, coming up on 1,000 days. Congratulations, brother. My other client and I talked. I have this new group in Aura where my clients are in there with me. We're tracking each other's sleep score. We were going through our stats. My cardiovascular age is apparently 7 years, rounding up, lower than my actual age. So I'm apparently cardiovascularly 29 years old, according to Aura. Okay. His isn't as high. I think he's 4 or 3. I think it's 4. And he's like, dude, I got to exercise. I got to fix this. Because we're comparing our stats. I said, why don't we just have you run it? When were you the most consistent at exercise? And we went through it. I said, why don't we just have you run a mile a day? He's like, really? I said, yeah. Let's do it. He's like, I don't know, man. Let's do a commitment device. Just for 1 week. I'm talking in 1 week. I'm talking 7 miles, 1 mile a day. And he's good at running. This is not that big of a deal for him. And I'm going to dock. You are agreeing, and I wrote it down. We did this whole thing. I'm going to dock you if you don't do it. You got to be honest, integrity with self and me. I'm going to dock you an entire session. You lose that money if you don't do it. He's going to do it. I'm certain he's going to do it. It's going to be great. What he needs is accountability. We all need accountability. We just don't want it. And if you go for what you need rather than what you want, I have one client who's so humble. She is so focused on what she needs right now. She doesn't want it. Half my coaching sessions she doesn't want to be on. She knows it's what she needs. She's humble enough to say, I suck at this. You're really good at this. I need you. And I need long-term strategic thinking, and I need to learn how to do it. And I don't want to be here, but I need to be here. And I think that that's just a very humble thing to do. I think it takes a lot of humility to get a therapist or a coach.
I agree. And I think if you know that going in, I think it's super beneficial to know that so much of what you want is delayed. You can eventually get what you want, but you got to do all the things that you need. Like, there's so many things that you need first. You need to become, you need to do, you need to practice, you need to be consistent at. Like, so much of, but that's why it's so hard, because it's like, well, how long do I have to do that before I get what I want? It depends. It depends on a lot of things. For us, it was 8 years, but not really, because there was levels along the way, right? So, all right, what's your next level lesson before we get out of here? I know we got to pop here.
Want, love, hate framework. Want to be in great shape, love weight training, hate dieting, want more clients, love one-on-one coaching, don't like falling down the rabbit hole of social media. A lot of what we want in life is on the other side of what we hate, and what we hate is often what we need. Last thing I'll say is I just started tracking expenses. I'm tracking expenses for the business every single day. I hate it. I don't like doing it. It's terrible. We need to do it. I want to track how much income. I like tracking that, but I need to track expenses because there's little things that slip through the cracks, right? We both don't need that. All right, we could consolidate that. Okay, we have 16 Canvas. I'm joking, but what I need is to track expenses. What I want is to be successful.
Boom. All right. Next Level Nation, if you know you need a group of like-minded humans, we have a private Facebook group called Next Level Nation. We will have the link in the show notes. Alan has mentioned several times in this how he helps his clients. So if you are somebody who is looking for extra accountability, extra necessity, awareness, deeper understanding, strategy, reverse engineering, all that stuff, Alan has coaching slots available. We'll have his link in the show notes for that. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, you don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep it next level. Next Level Nation.